Time now to talk about your money and taxes. Don't turn away. This is very important. Are you paying the right amount when it comes to your hired hands? Family and financial legal expert Alexis Martin Neely is here with what you need to know. By hired hands, we're talking about nannies, housekeepers, even just the people you may have, not on a regular basis, but you do pay them a salary. Yeah. So let's talk about this and what we need to know.
Okay, so I researched this for myself because it's really important for all of us to know whenever we have any help in our home. And,
sure.
And as you said, it applies to everyone, nannies, housekeepers, any household help. If you're paying them more than $1,600 a year, then you've got to be filing what are called nanny taxes in the common terms, and that's not really what they're called, but we could call it that for this purpose.
You know, Alexis, a lot of people may think, well, I just have them here. They may think of it as more of a casual employment, but you are, in fact, an employer if you have a nanny or a housekeeper.
That's right. Anytime that you're paying more than $1,600 a year, and it's not going to a parent, a spouse, or a child under the age of 21.
So those are the exceptions.
That's right. That's right. So you don't have to do it if you're paying a parent, a spouse, or a child under the age of 21.
Okay. How do we calculate this? Because this is where it gets really scary. You give us this figure of over $1,600 a year, but then we start to panic because it's tough enough to do our own taxes, but then to think about incorporating somebody else who you're paying.
Right. So there's a couple of ways that you can deal with calculating the taxes. One is you can do it yourself. There are online calculators. We've got one for you at familywealthmatters.com. You can check there and use the online calculator if you want to do it yourself. But it's not that easy, so you may want to get a service. You can get services from anywhere between $400 and $800 a year. Now that's going to add on top of the taxes that you're going to pay, which are going to run about 10% of what you're paying your household employee.
Okay, now a lot of people might be saying as well, you know, I think I can get away with not filing and getting with taxes. Not a smart idea. You're a legal expert and you know this.
Well, you might be able to get away with it, but if you don't, the penalties are severe. You're going to owe penalties on what you didn't pay, plus you could be responsible for paying the taxes for your nanny that you didn't file. And so you really want to make sure that you're doing it because it's not worth it if you get caught. And
there are some benefits to filing and doing this. Despite the hassle you may think it is,
that's right.
There are some advantages to this.
Yeah, the advantages are that you can take credits for dependent care on your tax return, and you can use your flex savings account benefits, which you wouldn't be able to do if you weren't filing the return.
You mentioned you can take the credit for dependents. I don't think some people know this.
Yes.
Is it common for tax preparers to ask if there is a nanny or a housekeeper in the household?
Well, if they're not asking, then you need to let them know.
Yeah.
So be proactive. Don't depend on your tax preparer to ask you. Be proactive and make sure you're letting your tax preparer know, and that you want to use these benefits like the flex savings account and the dependent tax care credit.
Really, really important information. And aside from, you know, the fact that you should be doing this, I mean, it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do. Sure, you can possibly get away with it, but you're going to feel better about yourself knowing that you're doing the right thing.
Yes, you are an employer in having your nanny or housekeeper in your home. We look forward to hearing from you next week and seeing what we're going to talk about. Thank you so much, Alexis. And if you have any questions for Alexis,